It's all about making sure that we get the best talent into the business, that people are developed in the right way so that they've got the skills and capabilities to do their jobs, and also that they get the opportunity for personal development and growth. And where we've got talented and ambitious individuals in the business, that they've got the opportunity to progress.
I started as a forklift driver 14 years ago, and now I'm a fully trained site manager.
I came to Homes, and obviously I got promoted from an administrator to an assistant. That made me stay.
I started in Keepmoat in 1996, and after about 18 months made the step up from management accountant to regional accountant, which was my first promotion within a business, so it was a major thing. I've spent the last nearly 10 years doing the finance director position.
I applied to do a master's conversion course in quantity surveying due to there being quite a lot of job opportunities in construction, and Sheffield Hallam put on like a built environment careers fair. So I was going around a few of the stalls and I was there with my CV, so left my CV. A few months went by and I thought I need to start looking at some jobs here, and agreed to come and do some work experience 1 day a week while I was still doing my studies. That progressed, and doing like 2 days voluntary, and then I came to an agreement with Keepmoat Homes that I was going to start as like a trainee, so they offered me like to pay me 3 days a week, which is quite good because obviously I still had time to finish my dissertation, but it was good to have like the financial support as well from Keepmoat, and I'm in my first week full time as a trainee quantity surveyor.
We want to be the very best employer. We want people to be attracted to Keepmoat, and in the same way that I was, and know that you're joining a business that really does value people.
I've invested a lot of time in myself, and it's nice to see rewards at the end of it.
I just want to talk to you a bit today about some of the great things that we're doing to look after our customers. We're passionate about customers here at Keepmoat, more so than ever. They're such an important part of our business. No business exists without customers, as we all know. 70+% of our customers are first-time buyers, and that gives its opportunities but also its challenges. One of the main challenges is they don't know anything about house purchasing. It's a very, very scary subject if you don't know anything about it. So one of the things that we're passionate about is making sure that we handhold them every step of the way through the purchasing experience. It's all about making it easy for them, taking all the pain out of the experience and ultimately making it a pleasurable experience. There's a lot of things and a lot of people involved in making that happen, and we're tackling those issues and challenges one by one to make sure that when customers survey us and review us, that the results that they give us are fantastic, and it means that they recommend us to friends and colleagues, and it protects our brand reputation. But moreover, it's just what we should be doing. It's what we're all about. We've got a very strong moral code at Keepmoat. We want to do the right things for customers, and we're committed to changing whatever needs changing in the business to make that happen. A third of our customers actually do come through personal recommendations, and that's really important to us because the cost of acquiring a customer in itself through a recommendation is only a quarter of the cost as it would be acquiring a customer that might come through one of our online portals like Zoopla or Rightmove. And over and above that, it's just a nicer thing. It's nicer to think we didn't have to pay this customer to come here, we didn't have to go begging for them to come to Keepmoat. Actually, they came on the back of a personal recommendation.
So we make sure sites, if sites got any problems, make sure deliveries get there on time. If there's any supplier and site problems, that they obviously liaise with each other, making sure they get the materials on time, make sure there's no customer problems, any spot purchases that come up on the day, if they need something for a completion, make sure obviously that's monitored by somebody else, but we obviously make sure as buyers that the site and supplier do talk to each other. We've recently got involved with doing cost exercises, so making sure that we are buying the most efficient products at the right prices, and that's been interesting. Making sure the commercial team, technical team get some exposure from the buying teams. Beforehand there were no relationship between the two, so really building a relationship between the two teams, making sure that they both understand time frames, because they might want something right now, but they need to understand that we do have other parts of the business that we do serve.
because of the nature of what we do, we have to work collaboratively with our customers, with the regions, with the supply chain. Our relationships and our collaborative relationships are fundamental to our success. Equally, with the nature of the business and where demand, materials and supply demand is becoming increasingly difficult, we have to be creative. We have to look at alternative materials, alternative ways of doing things.
Health and safety is the most important above all with Keepmoat. Keeping the public safe from the dangers of site activities and keeping workers safe so they can go home to their families. Everyone is responsible for their health and safety while on site, as we can't be everywhere all the time. So people have to be responsible for themselves and everyone around them to keep us all safe. Also, to keep the community safe, we have to make sure we're fenced off properly and locked up to stop people getting on. We make sure there's plenty of signs warning people of the dangers of construction.
Our supply chain must be fully aware of all the different sources of their materials throughout and ensure that these materials or services have not been generated by people working in adverse conditions for little monetary return. And with many of our materials or components to our materials coming from across the world, it's something that we really need to be very closely monitoring throughout all the levels of our supply chain.
There's a lot of legislation in the construction industry, which means that we must train people on health and safety regulations, environment legislation, as well as our quality standards. The business holds various standards such as ISO 14001, which is an environment standard, 9001, which is a quality standard, and OSAS 18001, which is the health and safety standard. Those three different standards all have requirements as well as legislation that we must train our staff.
In terms of our vision and values, Keepmoat Homes obviously has a vision of building communities and transforming lives, and this is never more relevant than our social economic impact strategy. That section of the business is all about how we engage with communities, starting from how we work with young people in schools and communities, how we inspire them to come into the industry. It can be working with people who are long-term unemployed, wanting to get back into the construction industry, work experience, site visits, site safety. We work with our suppliers in upskilling people that come forward into the sector, apprenticeships, graduates, and trainees.
Keepmoat are specialists in this area. Lots of other construction companies try to do it like we do it but don't get there, and as a business we talk about it being through the veins of our blood within the business, and I'm absolute testament that that is actually the case. We don't just, we're not tokenistic, it is actually part of everything we do.
To support our vision of building communities and transforming lives, we have what we call a community engagement team, and the community engagement teams work under our CSR function or our land partnership team, and they will engage with the local communities and identify specific demographics within those communities that are trying to get into work and that we want to encourage into the construction industry. So they'll run a variety of initiatives.
In terms of the office staff here, we regularly do charitable things. So at the moment it's Project Working Wardrobe. So everybody's bringing in their old or clothes that they don't want anymore to enable people to go for interviews for employment. We did this last year and 30 people secured employment on the back of the fact that they had suitable clothing to go for interview.
We've done a number of really successful community gardens. getting everybody together to providing our resources and materials. Those community gardens help people grow their own food, flowers, and generally bring people together, make the environment a lot nicer place to be.
We tend to work with a lot of local authorities securing land through local authorities. We also work closely with communities in areas that typically have been neglected by other house builders, and also we're drawing new people into these areas that traditionally haven't been places people choose to live. It's able to transform the housing in those areas that attracts new people in to help the regeneration process.
It's part of our mission statement, building communities, transforming lives. We aren't builders that go in, build houses, make money and run away. We realise that we can make a really positive impact on the wider community, not just the people that buy our homes, so that we leave a lasting legacy when we leave that area.